Welcome to NPA Forum Gold, a series built from the Natural Perfume Academy's own teaching archives. One of the great benefits of running the Academy on Moodle is that years of student questions and tutor replies have not vanished into the ether. They remain searchable. This is knowledge curation at its best, returning to the archive, correcting what needs updating, and bringing its strongest teaching back into the light. We begin with dilution. Dilution produced some wonderfully honest forum posts, lots of panic, maths ghosts, and bucket loads of questions. But students were not simply bad at maths. One word was being used for 3 different ideas, and those ideas had become tangled together. When most people hear dilution, they think of adding water to cordial to make it weaker. In perfumery, dilution can uncover detail, make a powerful material understandable, and create room for very small, deliberate changes. 10% is a useful bench convention because it is very easy to calculate and compare, but it is not a law. The best working strength depends on the material, the exercise, and the finished product. The easiest route into the maths is to choose the finished amount first. Ask how much solution you actually need and what percentage of that total should be aromatic material. The calculation becomes much less mysterious. Serious perfumery does not require huge bottles of every dilution. 5 grams can be perfectly adequate for study, and smaller batches cost less, waste less, and encourage you to remake materials only when they're genuinely needed. 8 grams at 50% contains 4 grams of aromatic material. That 4 grams never changes. To reach 20%, enlarge the total mixture to 20 grams. To reach 10%, enlarge it to 40. That is the central idea behind the calculation. The formula is useful, but the picture behind it matters more. The aromatic portion remains constant. Only the amount surrounding it changes. Once that is understood, diluting an existing dilution becomes far easier to visualize. Drops are brilliant for discovering an idea, and then grams allow the idea to return. Think of drops as the sketch and weight as the blueprint. Always record the dilution strength too, though, because that is part of the formula. This archive also shows why old teaching should be reviewed rather than copied blindly. Density and solubility are different questions. Supplier information helps, but a tiny test in the actual solvent on your own bench is often the clearest answer. The calculation may be identical, but the handling is not. Oils usually mix easily. Absolutes may need patience and gentle warmth. Concretes can bring waxes, sediment, or filtration. The material determines the bench work. Solubility charts are useful maps, but they are not the territory. Extraction method, wax content, age, temperature, and botanical batch can all change behavior. A 1 gram pilot can save both money and heartache. Evaluation should move from quiet to loud. A powerful sample smelled first can flatten everything after it. Begin low, bite quickly, and return later. A material is not one smell, but a sequence unfolding through time. The 1 to 9 ladder is one of the archive's real treasures. It replaces random adding with comparison. You discover not only the nicest ratio, but the exact point where an addition takes over and changes the identity of the accord. For a more complex accord, begin with the least influential material and move gradually towards the main theme. It is like building the stage before the lead performer arrives, so the dominant note has a structure beneath it. The historical labels can be debated, but the practical NPA principle is clear. Pre-dilution gives control. It enables tiny adjustments, fair comparisons, and formulas that can be repeated instead of one lucky blending session. A formula containing a 30% stock is not automatically a 30% perfume. Every stock solution contributes both aromatic material and diluent. Finished strength must be calculated from the active aromatic amount contributed by every ingredient. There are 3 separate reasons to dilute: safety, olfactory control, and physical handling. A safe material may still reveal more at 1%. Another may be diluted simply because it is solid, sticky, or difficult to dose accurately. The fridge is not automatically the best place for every dilution. Aim first for stable, cool temperatures, limited light and oxygen, clean closures, and clear records. Refrigeration may protect one material while making another crystallize or throw sediment. This is why archive curation matters. The old table confused allergen labelling thresholds with maximum use limits. They are not the same thing. Regulations and standards change, so students need a current checking process, not a static list that may become wrong. The answer is not more scattered facts, but a studio system. Define the purpose, check the material, calculate, test, label, record, evaluate, and recalculate before scaling. Remember, the notebook is one of the most important instruments on the bench. This is the deepest gold in the archive. Repeated questions show us exactly where teaching must slow down. Bottle strength, formula share, and final active concentration are 3 separate numbers. Once they are clearly named, much of the panic disappears. Now turn the information into a nose memory. Smell one material at 1, 5, 10, and 20%. Notice what appears, what vanishes, what becomes harsh, and which strength makes the material most readable. This Forum Gold preserves the living intelligence of the Natural Perfume Academy. The questions, discoveries, corrections, and practical wisdom built through 18 years of teaching.